Imagine being so brilliant that everyone around you knows it, yet so consumed by your own pride that you slowly destroy the very life that brilliance could have built. That's the tragedy of Chuck McGill. Not just a man who lost to circumstances, but a man who lost to himself. And if pride has ever controlled you, his story isn't just entertainment, it's a warning. Chuck McGill wasn't a villain in the traditional sense. He didn't wake up wanting to hurt people. He wasn't reckless, loud, or obviously cruel. In fact, on paper, he was everything society admires: disciplined, intelligent, respected, and morally strict. He was the kind of man who believed deeply in rules, in order, in the idea that success should be earned through hard work and integrity. And for most of his life, that belief served him well. He built a reputation as one of the sharpest legal minds in his field, someone whose name alone carried weight in a courtroom. People trusted him. They admired him. Some even feared him. Chuck wasn't just successful, he was proud of how he became successful. But pride is a strange thing. At first, it feels like strength, it feels like dignity, it feels like self-respect. And Chuck believed his pride was justified because, in many ways, it was. He had sacrificed more than most people knew. While others took shortcuts, Chuck studied. While others bent the rules, Chuck mastered them. He saw the law as something sacred, something that separated civilization from chaos. To him, being a lawyer wasn't just a career, it was a moral identity. So when his younger brother, Jimmy, came into the picture, everything changed. Jimmy was the opposite of Chuck. Where Chuck was controlled, Jimmy was impulsive. Where Chuck was methodical, Jimmy was creative. And where Chuck earned respect through discipline, Jimmy earned attention through charm. Chuck saw Jimmy as someone who cut corners, someone who didn't truly respect the system. To Chuck, Jimmy's success didn't feel like growth, it felt like an insult to the values Chuck had built his entire life around. And this is where pride stopped being a strength and started becoming poison. Because pride doesn't just make you confident, it makes you protective, it makes you territorial, it makes you believe that if someone else rises without following your path, then your path must be losing value. Chuck couldn't accept that Jimmy could become a lawyer and be taken seriously. Not because Jimmy lacked intelligence, but because Jimmy didn't share Chuck's philosophy. To Chuck, Jimmy becoming a lawyer wasn't just uncomfortable, it felt wrong. It felt like the system itself was being disrespected, and Chuck believed it was his responsibility to stop it. But here's the tragedy. Chuck convinced himself he was acting out of principle, when in reality he was acting out of pride. He told himself he was protecting the law, protecting the profession, protecting standards. But beneath all of that was a simpler truth he couldn't admit. He couldn't stand the idea that Jimmy might succeed in a way that didn't validate Chuck's worldview. Chuck didn't just want to be right, he needed to be right. And once someone needs to be right, they stop listening, they stop adapting, and they stop seeing people clearly. Chuck's pride didn't just affect how he saw Jimmy, it affected how he saw himself. When his life began slipping out of control, when his mental and physical struggles worsened, Chuck didn't see vulnerability as something human. He saw it as weakness. He saw it as failure. And pride doesn't allow failure. So instead of asking for help, instead of questioning his own perspective, Chuck doubled down. He clung harder to his identity as the rational one, the disciplined one, the superior one. The more reality contradicted that identity, the more defensive he became. This is the part of Chuck's story that makes it so powerful, because it's painfully human. Pride isolates you slowly. It convinces you that admitting fault means losing value. It makes you see criticism as attack. It makes you see other people's growth as threats instead of possibilities. Chuck didn't lose because he lacked intelligence. He lost because pride prevented him from evolving. Every opportunity to reconnect with Jimmy, every moment where he could have softened, every chance to choose humility over control, pride closed that door. And the cruel irony is that Chuck believed he was protecting his legacy, but in reality, pride was erasing it. Instead of being remembered as the brilliant mentor or the respected pioneer, Chuck became a symbol of rigidity, a man who couldn't bend even when bending would have saved him. Pride didn't just damage his relationship with Jimmy, it damaged his relationship with the world. And his end was sad, alone with his blanket. What makes this story so unsettling isn't that Chuck was uniquely flawed, it's that his flaw is incredibly common. Pride tells us that our identity is fixed, that changing means admitting we were wrong, that forgiveness means surrendering status. Pride whispers that holding on to control is safer than opening up. And at first, that whisper feels protective. It feels like dignity. But over time, it turns into a wall. And once that wall is built high enough, you don't just keep others out, you trap yourself inside. Chuck McGill's story isn't about one man's downfall. It's about the danger of believing that being right is more important than being connected. It's about the cost of valuing principles so highly that you stop valuing people. It's about how intelligence without humility can become self-destruction. And maybe the most haunting part is this: Chuck never saw himself as the problem. In his mind, he was the last person standing for what was right. And that's exactly why he couldn't change. Because the moment pride becomes your identity, change feels like death.